And just like that, a new season of the Premier League is upon us. So, how do Manchester City's chances stack up in this new season? Let's just jump into it. Consider subscribing to our channel. It's free and helps us a ton. Thanks. As we all know, Manchester City had a below par 2024-25 season by their standards. And quote unquote, by their standards is doing a lot of heavy lifting because they still finished third in the table and reached the FA Cup final. But after winning 4 consecutive Premier League titles, a Champions League, multiple domestic trophies and a continental treble, anything less would seem bad. This is not to say they did not have an under par season. There was a stretch of games between 30th October 2024 and New Year where they lost 9 of their 13 games across all competitions and were truly in relegation form before arresting the slide. They finished the season with only the Community Shield, if it's even considered a trophy, and nothing else. City ended the season with 9 losses in the Premier League alone. That's more than all their losses from the previous 2 seasons combined. They barely made it out of the Champions League group stage and then lost to Real Madrid in the playoff round. They had some harrowing losses like the 4-0 loss to Tottenham at home, or incredible collapses like the 4-1 loss to Sporting after leading, or 3-3 draw against Feyenoord from a 3-0 scoreline. As we said, by their standards, it was a poor season, and there were multiple reasons that we did cover here. But for a summary, the lack of form of key players combined with an aging squad, an injury crisis and exhaustion due to the sheer number of games a lot of the players had put in their legs season after season caused a chain reaction of poor and inconsistent performances. Like losing a player of the caliber of Rodri would affect any team, but a revolving door of defenders did not help either. But that season is over and the new season is upon us. So what can we expect? For starters, the squad is going through a transition period. During the last few years, a lot of the players who were instrumental in Pep's team being successful have left the club. Mahrez, Laporta, Sterling, etc., including the latest ones like Kyle Walker and Kevin De Bruyne, have all left the club in the last 3 seasons or so. Ilkay Gundogan left and came back during this period. Some of these players contributed a lot towards City's success over the years, including the current transfer window. Players like Haaland, Kovacic, Guardiola, Jeremy Doku, Tijani Reinders, Ryan Cherki, etc. A lot of new players have come in over the last 3 seasons, and some of them still need proper bedding in. Combine these with players who have declined over the last few seasons or aren't at the peak of their powers anymore, like Bernardo Silva, John Stones, Nathan Ake, Jack Grealish or Edison, all who may yet leave. There's still a lot of work to be done. In fact, as we are making this video, Jack Grealish is leaving on loan to Everton. Not only that, Pep Guardiola's whole backroom staff has received a facelift. Juan Malillo, Carlos Vicens and Inigo Dominguez have all left the club. In came Pep Lijnders, Jamie French and Kolo Toure. All these changes in the squad and the coaching staff means there could be a considerable bedding in time. Not everything can click from the get-go, as has been evident from Pep's entire tenure at Manchester City. Very few players hit the ground running in his side and usually need a season or 2 to completely understand his system and fit in. So, the fans of the club should temper their expectations. While it's entirely possible that the new look staff and squad put City back on their winning ways, the more realistic probability is that this season would be more like the last one, where City struggled with so many new players still finding their feet. So what can we expect from this new look Manchester City team? We saw a glimpse of the new team in the FIFA Club World Cup. The sample size isn't big, but the 3 group games and a knockout game gives us something to look at. The group stage was fairly breezy. They huffed and puffed through their match against Wydad FC, winning it 2-0, dominated Al Ain 6-0 and even squashed Juventus 5-2 to make it easily into the round of 16. However, through the group stage, there were clear issues in defense, and it was made apparent that not all Man City issues have been solved in the transfer window, and in the round of 16 match against Al Hilal, which City lost 4-3, they were much more clear. City's attack felt like a throwback from the yesteryears with a lot of chance creation, and while finishing could have been better, most attackers were on song. However, the defensive frailties kept rearing their ugly heads as City's defense kept getting stretched or caught on the counter way too many times. The match against Al Hilal was especially damning in that regard, conceding 4 due to shoddy defending, an inability to clear the lines, and being caught on the counter. City's attack was also a culprit where lack of finishing cost City a few goals despite scoring 3 on the night. There were certain positives like Ryan Ait-Nouri's performances or how Tijani Reinders did, but there was more trouble too as Rodri picked up a groin injury and might not be fully fit till the September international break. The preseason friendly against Palermo showed even more promise, especially Reinders, who scored a brace, and Cherki, who was dynamic in attack, while Nico Gonzalez and Nico O'Reilly picked up the slack in Rodri's absence. However, once they were subbed off, City struggled in building the play and defending in the middle of the park. At this point, it stands to reason Guardiola has a few selection headache. Their first match of the new Premier League season against Wolves showed a lot of promise. They won the match 4-0 at the Molineux, and the new additions to the team did well for the most part. For example, Nico Gonzalez played well in place for Rodri and had an overall good game. Ryan Ait-Nouri had a fantastic PL debut for Man City against his former club, while Reinders and Cherki too had excellent Premier League debuts, both scoring a goal. Reinders was specifically electric, who also provided an assist and was involved in 3 goals. It remains to be seen if they can continue this good work. It's a long season after all. So what does Manchester City need? Personnel-wise, they have made some smart acquisitions in the midfield and attack, though the sudden Tottenham interest in Savinho may force Manchester City into finding solutions on the wings. And as of now, the speculation seem to indicate City being interested in Real Madrid's Rodrigo. A right back is the need of the hour, with Walker having left the club, and Rico Lewis doesn't have the same attributes as Walker. Matheus Nunes has filled in the spot and has performed reasonably, but it is obvious a more natural right back would help City a lot. Between Haaland, Marmoush, Doku, Cherki, Foden and Oscar Bob, City's attack seems to be sorted. Defensively, City will have to rely on the tried and tested war horses like Ruben Dias, Akanji, Stones, Guardiola, etc. unless one of them leaves. The biggest challenge in front of Manchester City, however, is their manager, Pep Guardiola. As of now, Pep is entering his 10th and, unless a deal is reached, his final season with Manchester City. That brings uncertainty. The current City team has been molded by Guardiola's vision, and nobody knows what it'll look like if and when he leaves. This also puts a little question mark on all the acquisitions being made, because there's every possibility they fit Guardiola's team but not the next manager's squad. While this challenge would affect the next season more, any uncertainty regarding his status can have an effect on the current season too. But right now, it's too early to tell if Guardiola's status will have any influence on how City's season goes. With everything taken into account, this may be the most uncertain season for Manchester City. The squad is far from settled, with a lot of old players having left and new players needing to bed in, meaning a title run-in, while absolutely possible, is not really certain. Final prediction? A top 4 finish and a deep run in the Champions League would be the best case scenario. Thank you for watching. Like if you liked it, share if you found it worthy, and subscribe for more content like this. This is Salty Football.